Video game companies are constantly trying to find ways to make more money off of gamers, and I don't necessarily blame them for trying to get us to swipe our credit cards, but I will blame them for being the greediest people on the planet, because now Escape from Tarkov fans are outraged at a new $250 pay-to-win edition. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube memberships. I have had to talk a lot on this channel about companies being extremely greedy, and I'm never really surprised with what they're doing, but this one definitely shocked a lot of people. I wanted to start with this Forbes article. It says earlier we've heard the unheard edition of Escape from Tarkov was announced as part of the latest patch, promising a brand new player versus environment mode and other bonuses. People have been asking for PvE in Tarkov for years at this point, and a lot of people were initially extremely excited to hear that they were finally doing this. People were finally getting what they wanted, but unfortunately, now that the edition has launched, fans are not happy with the bonus it gives and the massive $250 price tag. People are already skeptical of buying games at $70. You have to be very excited in order to buy a game at that price tag. The average person is not just casually buying $70 games that they think will be at least okay. Never mind trying to get people to buy a $250 edition of a game. It says the first issue that fans have is that the PvE mode for Tarkov is exclusive to those who buy the new edition, so it's not even like when you're spending $50 for the base version of the game, you're not also getting the PvE, and that is absurd in my opinion. I think that if you're going to make a mode for a game that already exists, all players should get it. I've already spent the money on the base edition of the game. I should also be getting the PvE mode. It says this is despite the fact that anyone who purchased the old Edge of Darkness edition was promised all future DLC content as part of the season pass, which you would think would include the new mode, but now they're trying to say that, well, that's future DLC content, that doesn't include new modes. It's like they are trying their hardest to find ways to disappoint people and try to defend their very poor business decision. While yes, there are definitely going to be people who will buy this $250 edition because they're fans of the game, they've been playing it for years, and they really want the full experience, most people are not going to be doing that. It says a lot of fans who have the EOD edition are rightfully very annoyed that they now have to upgrade from the edition, which costs $100 in order to play it. However, some posts on the official Discord have tried to explain why BSG thinks this is not DLC. DLC means downloadable content. PvE is a feature in a game mode. I'm sorry, but if you are adding a mode to a game, it should be included in the version that is the cheapest, right? That people have already purchased, because of course most games have multiple tiers: the $70 edition, the $100 deluxe edition, the $130 special edition, whatever. There are many different games with many different editions, but regardless, if I'm buying the standard version, I should be getting something as simple as a PvE mode. And of course, the reaction to this news has been so negative that all but 3 channels in the official Discord have been silenced, with users not being able to post in them, and this, in my opinion, is a very bad move on their part. They are silencing people who have purchased their game. They are actively trying to get people to not talk about this and not providing them ways to discuss this situation, which is such a nasty move. People, of course, will go to social media, they'll go to Twitter/X, they'll go to Instagram, they will go and try to find different ways to talk about this, but to silence people in the Discord is just an unacceptable thing to do. And of course, over the years, we have seen so many situations surrounding pay to win in video games, and of course that this isn't very surprising, but it is extremely disappointing for a lot of people. Companies need to understand when we are putting our time and our money into their game, and we are the reason why their titles are able to survive. They need to show us a little bit of respect. I'm not saying that they constantly need to do everything that we ask and apologize for every move they make that some individuals don't like, but they need to hold a general respect for us. And with, Gamergate 2 starting, we have definitely seen that that is not the case within the industry, and there are so many people within the industry who absolutely hate gamers' guts. And of course, nobody at EFT has come out and said, gamers are so, full of themselves and they don't understand what goes into games. No one's come out and attacked us, but it's clear by the way that they are acting with, locking down their Discord server and putting out this edition that they don't particularly care about what we have to say. And with Escape from Tarkov being an extraction shooter, it definitely seems like they were following in the footsteps of other companies who have created similar FPS games, such as Call of Duty and Activision Blizzard. Unfortunately, we have seen Activision Blizzard's greed reach new heights over the past few years, but it's clear to see why. This was a report from 2021, but it says Activision Blizzard reports 61% of 2021 revenues came from microtransactions and DLC as player numbers plummet. So I think the people running Escape from Tarkov and the developers were looking at companies who have similar games going, we just need to sell more expensive editions, we need to be selling more features, and we need to be selling DLC and microtransactions, and that's where we can make money. We don't particularly care if our player numbers dip as long as we are still making money. And Activision Blizzard has proven that if you push a few consumers away, there will still be whales who will show up to support them. I mean, we've seen this in all of their games over the past few years. This was just from February 2024. Video game industry greed hits new low as Blizzard begins charging $30 for class-restricted Diablo 4 portal colors. But I wouldn't necessarily say that is where the industry greed hit a new low, because that was in 2022 when fans condemned Diablo Immortal's aggressive microtransactions after the discovery that a full item upgrades cost upwards of $50,000. That was absolutely insane. And of course, there is not going to be another game that is going to reach that height anytime soon. $50,000 for full item upgrades. That is absolutely insane. It is outrageous. And of course, when you look at $50,000 compared to $250, it's quite a stark contrast, but at the same time, it is unacceptable for them to be putting a mode such as PvE behind a $250 edition, even the $100 edition. If you are putting out a new mode like this, it should be accessible to people who have bought the standard $50 edition of the game. And it's so unfortunate to see this happen, because there are so many people who absolutely love Escape from Tarkov and think that it is such a fantastic game, but this is definitely going to push a lot of new players away. And as you can see, fans are outraged with this new edition, so they are also actively pushing away the consumers they already have to make a quick buck. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.